You've heard the statistic probably more times than you care to share, and that's 85% of people on the spectrum cannot get gainful employment, and they can't keep it once they do get it. Welcome back to Life at the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. Today, there's an organization right here, fairly new, that just opened up that's hoping to change that. With me today, Lindsay Hill, the CEO and Executive Director of a fairly new 501c3 called Transition Success Center. Hi, Lindsay. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm so good. And thank you again for being on a brand new organization, Transition Success Center. What led you to doing this? Like, what did you do before this, Lindsay?
I was actually a special education teacher in Cobb County. So I was there for 13 years and I taught the transition class. So this is kind of where I came from. All of my students, I'm working on life skills and building independence and stuff like that. And then once they graduated, I was kind of finding that there weren't too many options in our area. And there weren't too many options that I felt like still focused on life skills. So I decided it was time to open my own.
I mean, especially after working that long and seeing folks graduate and not getting the practical skills they need to go out into the workforce. What all do you do there?
So we are a day program. We don't do job placement or anything like that, but our goal is to get our clients, our participants as independent as possible. So some of our clients come like once a week and they might have jobs. The days that they're here, we work on those skills that they need for those jobs. Some participants come 5 days a week and we're working on life skills and functional academics and things like that.
How many folks are enrolled over at the Transition Success Center?
So we actually have 23 enrolled right now.
Wow.
Not everybody comes every day.
Right.
So among those 23, we have anywhere from 8 to 10 a day. So let's see, today I have 9. And this morning, we worked on some functional academics, some reading comprehension. And then this afternoon, we're going to get out and do some gymnastics at a gym down the road. So we kind of try to keep it balanced.
So I was in North Carolina and I ran into a young gentleman, and, I do a lot of work with young adults on the spectrum as well. And he said, I asked him, who he was, what his name was, how old he was. He said, I'm 26. I still live at home with my mom and dad. He goes, and that's because I keep getting fired from my jobs. Yes. And I was like, I felt so bad for him. Do you run across these folks there at the Transition Success Center as well?
We do. One of actually my former students that's now a client at a Transition Success Center, he had a job and he lost his job recently. And it's been a big learning point for him. He knows exactly what he did. It's just impulse control and getting to, really work on those things. And when we're here, I get to kind of point out those things. All right, now, if you were at a job, you can't eat somebody's leftovers off of their plate. So you can't do that here either. We really have to practice it all the way through, not just in one environment.
And you have to show up on time and you have to leave when it's time. You can't just be like, yes, oh, I'm gone.
Yep, oh, I'm done. Or, take a 45-minute break. And really a lot of the social skills too of interacting with customers and knowing sometimes when to end a conversation.
For sure. With me today, Lindsay Hill, the CEO and Executive Director of a fairly new 501c3 called Transition Success Center right here up in Marietta, right, Lindsay?
We are in Marietta. We're on Canton Road.
When we get back, we're going to find out all about some fundraisers and how you can get your young adults signed up. Stay with me.
Don's Tree Service is awesome.
Love Don's Tree Service. They've come out for a giant oak tree removal, another for some debris removal.
One thing I really appreciated about Don's Tree Service, they come, they take those trees down, and they take everything away.
For a free estimate, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-TREE, or find them online at donstree.com.
Welcome back to Life with the Spectrum. I'm your host, Gina Cavalli. With me today, Lindsay Hill, the CEO and Executive Director over at the Transition Success Center. Lindsay, with 23 people enrolled, do you work with companies to get them successfully and gainfully employed? And if so, do you find yourself having to train those companies on how to deal with autism?
So right now we aren't working with any particular companies for job placement. It's something that I would love to do. We've been open for about 6 months. In my past being a teacher, I didn't do job placement, but I did on the job training. And we did find a lot of the tasks our students can do, or individuals can do, but it is really teaching the organization how to sequence things, how to present the task, how to get the area set up so that everyone can be successful.
And I also find, too, with companies right here in Atlanta that solely employ the neurospicy and neurodiverse workforce, that the wait list to just get a job there, you'll be waiting 4 or 5 years. So really, practically speaking, you need to go and find a different job.
Really, yes. And I really think that our guys have the best chance going out to get a job. Really anywhere, as it's really about advocating for yourself. And you're right, training that company how others, can be successful. Some jobs that we might not want to do, I don't have autism, I'm not on the spectrum. Somebody who is on the spectrum might love it because I might think it's monotonous. They might find it something that they love because it's repetitive. You really need to, capitalize on that. These companies are kind of missing out.
For sure. And, and I also think a great idea would be, based on the hit show Love on the Spectrum that we were on, our Table Talk was featured on in season 2. These kids have passions just like any kid has a passion. And so why not let them be your brand ambassadors and let them market? I remember watching Perry. She's so into the trains, right? She should be working for Norfolk Southern. She should be working for that. And she should be the poster child. Like, hey, come buy a season pass or an annual ticket or whatever. She needs to be doing that. Making money, doing what she loves and her interests. It doesn't work for everybody, but it certainly works for many of the folks that are on the spectrum. Lindsay, I know you have spent a lot of time trying to get this organization up and running. You sponsored the Spring Fling over at Pope High School. What's slated for the rest of 2025 for Transition Success Center?
So for the rest of 2025, we're running some summer camps. So we have some individuals from high schools that will be joining us to kind of get their transition into adulthood going. Then once the school year starts in October will be our first birthday. So we're hoping to have a big first birthday bash. We also do a lot of community outreach. We like to sponsor different families. We sponsored 4 families for Easter, families of children with autism. They were children in this group.
Okay.
And so we were able to supply 17 Easter baskets. We had mom and dad included. And so I'm hoping going into the holiday season, we'll be able to sponsor some more families again.
Oh, yeah. For Thanksgiving and Christmas, that would be super duper fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, how can people find you to get more information and possibly sign their young adult up?
So our website is transitionsuccesscenter.com. We also have a Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, all at Transition Success Center. There we post videos, we post updates of what we've been up to. And on our contact us link is where you can get your individual involved.
I have to tell you, I have friends that have their children over. I say children, they're young adult children.
I know. I'm trying really hard not to call them my kids.
I know.
We're like the same age.
They have been reaching out to me saying, Gina, you have to get Lindsay on the show because what she's doing is so different right here in our backyard. So I'm so glad that you came on today, Lindsay, to talk about Transition Success Center, what it is you do, those practical life skills that our folks need to move forward, not just in life, but also in employment as well. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for having me.
I hear stories just like the young man up in North Carolina about how he got the job, but then he just couldn't keep the job. And it happens to him over and over and over again. When you have a young adult coming out of college, life can tend to be very isolating, right? And especially if they're not working. And the whole goal is to get you working. But where do you go? How can you get the job and keep the job? Look to Transition Success Center right here off Canton Road in Marietta to help you and your young adult. And again, you can reach out to them at transitionsuccesscenter.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to Life with the Spectrum. Our goal is to bring you new ideas, new people, new organizations, new ways of looking at things as we all accept and are aware that autism is now 1 in 31 kids being diagnosed. So now more than ever, you can plug into any one of these shows that make a difference to you and your family along your journey. And you can find it as a podcast. You can find it and like, comment, share, and subscribe right here to the YouTube show. Till next time, we live life with the spectrum. See ya.
Bye.